In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how you can modify the website crawler very easily to scrape pretty much any information that you want. Now, the most common question I've had so far is, what are the use cases for the website crawler? And another common question I've had is, how do you modify it to scrape something that you want to scrape that is not from the default, like regex scraping, or the default behavior of it scraping external domains. And so I thought I'd make some case study videos showing how you can modify the website crawler to scrape various information. And in this first video, what we're going to do is we're going to start to scrape information from this site, all recipes. And basically what we're going to do is build a scraper that would be capable of powering a recipe search engine. So you could potentially scrape multiple different recipe sites and gather certain information, and then you could create your own search engine, which would allow people to come to one place and search for recipes across multiple different websites. Now, we're obviously not going to build out the whole search engine or anything like that. I just want to show you how you can build a scraper to get some of the information that you would need to build a search engine from this website. Now, I've already gone ahead and done a little bit of prep work. What I've done is I've created a new file, but I have not modified anything in this file yet. All I did was rename a file called all recipes crawler. Another thing that I did is that I basically already built this thing in about 5 minutes and tested it. And I've ran into one little bug with the XPath here, so I've changed it. I have not tested it since. So far I've spent about 5 minutes on this project, but I'm going to walk you through what I did anyway. So basically, the first thing that I did was I went to allrecipes.com and I just had a look at the site. I wanted to get a feel for the structure of the website. And what I found was that if you're looking at the homepage, we can see that there's a lot of different kinds of categories. And I noticed that down in the URL here at the bottom left of the screen, you can see that says allrecipes.com/recipes. Let me inspect this element so we can see here. We can see that it says /recipes with an S. And after spending about 60 seconds or so, if that, on the site, and actually hovering over some of the recipes themselves, I realized pretty quickly that if you want a recipe, it's actually just /recipe without the S. Now, just from looking at the site for a minute and determining that that probably means that that's a link to a recipe page, I realized that what I could do was use the whitelist filter built into the website crawler to simply only gather data from pages that say recipe, like that. And so in theory, if we only scraped these pages, we would only be scraping recipe pages. So let's see what we can do with that. Now, we need to see some information, or we need to choose some information that we want to get. So what I decided was that a search engine should have the title, it should have a description, and in this case, it should have a star rating. And so that's the 3 pieces of information I want to get off of this page. And so you can right click and inspect element. And actually, in this particular case, since we want to get the title, we're just going to get the title of the page, I think. Although you can get the title here, and in fact, let's actually change from my original. I'm going to change it right now, and we're going to get the title. So I'm going to right click here, and it says H1 ID is recipe main content. So let's go ahead and grab that, and I'm going to go back into my little test bot here. This is just a blank ubot basically, where I simply use the heopass HTTP get to get this page. So we have the HTML already. We don't need to get it again. And now I want to try and get that title, because actually that title is better than the title I got before. If we look into the debugger here, we can see that the title I was getting before had appended -allrecipes.com. But if we actually change to this title, it shouldn't say that. So this is actually better than what I did before. So to get the title, we need to use the XPath parser. We're going to be getting the HTML content of the page. And before I just said / title because it was quick and easy. But this case, I'm going to say h1. And the ID I've copied down like so. So we can see here that that was the h1 of the page with an ID of recipe-main-content. And what I want to get is the inner text here. So I'm just going to hit run and see if it works on my little test bot here. And it does. And now we don't have that recipe-all recipes either. So that was the first piece of information. The second piece of information I want to get was the description. So I'm just going to go into the source code and search for description. As you can see, we have this meta name description with this content. So all I did to get that description was I said, give me the meta with the name of description, and the attribute that I want is content. Finally, for the star rating, I just right-clicked and inspected the element, and I found out that we have this div class of rating-stars, and it gives us this data-rating stars. What's really cool about this site is it gives you this very long number. So you can actually rank recipes more accurately than if it were to just say 4 stars or 4.2 stars. It's actually pretty nice. You could scrape a bunch of recipes on this site and really rank them a lot more accurately than on a lot of other sites. So I thought that was pretty cool. Now what happened was that gave me a little bit of problems. And I think the reason was because of this rating-stars. If I search in here, we can see that there's a whole bunch of them. And so that was definitely a little bit of a bug on the first run. So what I did was I changed it to say, I want it to only give me the class recipe summary stars / rating stars, because this only has 1 in the source code. And so I simply said, give me the div with that class, then go inside of that and give me the rating stars. And as we can see in the debugger, it ends up giving us this number. All right, so I just literally threw this together in, like I said before, just a couple of minutes. And I didn't even bother to set them to local or the right HTML. So what I did after that was I had to come in and actually change that over inside of the program here. So if you didn't know, or if you've only seen the sales video and you haven't seen the source code, this is where you can change what you're going to scrape in the main program. So right now it's just simply using this bit here to scrape for external domains. And this is how easy it is to change, all right? I'm going to get rid of this. Then I'm going to open up my test bot, and I'm going to copy these 3 things. And I'm going to paste them above this insert into results table. All right, now there are a couple things I need to do here. One is I should definitely change these to be local because they're going to be inside of a thread. And so we're going to have to definitely change these to be local. And because of that, in my own personal naming convention, that means I also have to underscore, put an underscore in front of the names here. So let me just do that real quick. Okay, now there's one more thing, and that's we're getting past the underscore HTML of the page. So I'm going to have to change that in each of these as well. And now I want to pass these into the results table. Now I don't want to go into the database and start messing with stuff. And I don't think I have to in this particular case. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the title, put a pipe symbol, take the description, put another pipe symbol, take the rating. And that's it. Now I can bring up the home page. We already put the seed list in right there. I'm going to kick this up a few threads. And let's just do a little test run. I'm going to pull the database up on the side here. Okay, so let's just wait and see until we get some results. And let's just verify that it's working. The home page has a lot of category pages. So the database, see, it's updating the database as I'm trying to access it. That's what's going on here. Okay, there we go. So the home page has a lot of, other types of pages. There's some recipes. So we're going to get results. Oh, we do have results. Okay, so here we go. Let's see, we have 15 results so far, or 14, I'm sorry. So let's look at the result. I already see that there's some encoding. We could HTML decode the page to turn that into an apostrophe. That's not really a big deal. But it looks like we have lemon ginger snap post set with a description here and a rating of 0. It's probably a new recipe. I know it's a new recipe because I watch Food Wishes. So that is definitely a new recipe. Yeah. So we can see right there, it just picked up that new recipe and it's got all of these other ones so far. And there's 29 results so far. Let's go ahead and refresh this. And we're already up to 32 actually. So that, see, it's updating, in real time here. But so far, this is looking pretty good. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to stop this, compile it, and throw it on my VPS and sort of forget about this video for 5 or 10 minutes, and then we'll go see what happens. Okay, I've loaded the all recipes crawler, as you can see, on the VPS now. So I'm just going to set it to 5 threads and start it up, and we'll just see what happens. Okay, so I've let this run for a little while now. And as you can see, it's crawled 4,500 pages so far, and we have about 1,300 results. So I'm just going to go ahead and stop this. Okay, and here are the results. As you can see, we have about 1,300 or so. And you can just sort of scroll through here and see that everything looks good so far. So as you can see, the website crawler is really easy to modify. You would want to obviously do more testing with this and debugging, but this is basically the process. You're just gonna open up a new program and you're going to just get the page and you're just gonna use some XPath or regular expressions to see or to retrieve the info that you want from that page. And then all you have to do once you figure out what to do is come into the program, come to the results page, results tab, and simply change this one command here. That's all you really need to do. If you want to modify the database and make it more sophisticated, then you can do that as well. And I explain how to do that in the source code video. But this is just a basic example of how you can quickly and easily modify the website crawler to scrape whatever you want. Thanks for watching.